Premier Mark Brantley, the Minister of Finance in the Nevis Island Administration, outlined fiscal measures for the year 2024 that he indicated would feature prudent spending and efficient revenue collection. According to Premier Brantley, the NIA will, quote, be very strict with the collection of revenue and will seek to reduce revenue losses by curbing our open-ended concession policies, end quote. He indicated that expenditure will depend on NIA's ability to access funding for executing the items listed in the capital expenditure program.
The budget for the upcoming year 2024 is set at $282.7 million. We have allocated the amount of $208.5 million to recurrent spending, representing 74% of the total budgeted expenditure. Having considered the expected uptick in economic activity for the upcoming fiscal year, the administration is projecting to collect the amount of $154.8 million in recurrent revenue, which represents a projected increase of a modest 6% when compared to the projected revenue of $146.4 million for the fiscal year 2022. We expect our recurrent revenue to be augmented by the remittance of at least $66 million from the federal government, representing a share of revenue from the CBI program. This remittance, when combined with our projected revenue collections, as outlined above, will provide a total overall recurrent revenue of $220.8 million for the upcoming 2024 fiscal period. When compared to the projected recurrent expenditure of $208.5 million, this provides a surplus on recurrent budget of $12.4 million. Madam President, the amount of $74.2 million has been allocated for the funding of our capital expenditure program. This represents a 12% increase when compared to the amount of $66.1 million that was allocated for fiscal year 2022. This is largely due to my administration's policy to undertake some capital projects which are revenue generating and others which are an integral part of our growth and development strategy. These were outlined earlier in my presentation. We anticipate that funding for our capital budget will be comprised of low-cost loan funding where applicable and grant funding from regional and international partners. I hasten to say that where the funding is not available, we will defer our capital expenditure.
The Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Communications and Works are allocated the highest percentage of the total budget, with allocations of 35% and 41.1% respectively. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.